Hey, welcome to the Balanced Flux podcast. I'm Tenny McLeod, and these are my takes on cultivating mental health, enhancing personal productivity, thereby living a balanced life. I hope that you'll be inspired to expand the quality of your life and in turn, empower others along the way. Expect new episodes on Sundays at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. And remember that you can always get more information on the website at balancedflux.com. So join me now and every week on this inspiring and fulfilling journey through the Balanced Flux podcast. Wham! You've just hit a wall. Whatever you're doing feels insurmountable, yet you have leagues left to go. You want to slump under that weight, curl up, and retreat. The world fades around you, and there's only that oppressive exhaustion, that relentless demand for more than you think you have. That is where endurance comes in. It's a force within you, a quiet stubbornness that whispers just a bit further. But what exactly is endurance beyond a vague notion of grit? At its simplest, it's the ability to keep going for a long time, but it's more nuanced than that. Endurance is having stamina, both mentally and physically. It's resilience, not just in the face of brief discomfort, but against something that stretches on, testing you over an extended period. Think less of a sprint and more of an uphill marathon, where the finish line keeps shifting farther away as you run. Endurance isn't confined to physical feats. Sure, it's that runner crossing the finish line or the weightlifter pushing out that final rep. But also, it's a student burning the midnight oil with an aching brain, yet staying utterly focused and determined. It's the parent juggling a stressful job with demanding childcare, finding strength and courage in the whirlwind. It's someone weathering a storm of personal challenges, managing pain, and rising again each morning with quiet, stubborn determination. Endurance is sewn into the fabric of countless ordinary yet extraordinary lives. Why bother cultivating this inner strength at all? Well, pushing your limits develops a sense of mastery. Think of that pure, elated exhaustion after accomplishing something you struggled with. It changes your understanding of what you're capable of and makes you feel a little less breakable. Plus, endurance makes you better at tolerating discomfort. That looming deadline, difficult workout, or complicated conversation seems less scary once you remember you've overcome similar hurdles before. It teaches you that discomfort is often temporary and you're stronger than you think in those moments. And perhaps, best of all, it gives you with some much-needed perspective. Those dark times might feel boundless, but endurance teaches you that they do have an end and you can reach it. It reminds you that even when you feel like you're barely inching forward, you're still moving. But there's a fine line to be aware of. It's tempting to mistake endurance for pushing yourself relentlessly without listening to your body, or for sheer bullheadedness, when perhaps flexibility and changing tack would be wiser. Ignoring your limits can lead to injury, both physically and mentally. Endurance is not about ignoring your needs altogether, but developing a nuanced understanding of them. It's about knowing when to rest and recharge so you can bounce back even stronger. It's also about having a long-term outlook, not allowing short-term pain to derail your goals completely. The benefits of endurance far outweigh the drawbacks as long as you practice a balanced approach. So how do you build this resilience? Well, surprisingly, it's really quite simple. Start small and gradually increase the challenge. It's not about massive leaps initially, but more about consistency. Think of it like building muscle. You get stronger with steady training over time. While pushing yourself, don't forget about self-compassion. A bad day won't significantly undo your progress, and it's okay to feel the struggle. Accept those moments, and then, when ready, pick yourself back up. Lastly, factor in strategic breaks. They might seem counterintuitive momentarily, but short bursts of rest can actually boost endurance in the long run. It lets you recover so you can hit your next challenge with renewed energy and mental clarity. So, are you ready to embrace the power of endurance, ready to forge that resilience within yourself? Where do you want this strength to shine in your everyday life? How will it change things? Will those difficult projects at work finally feel conquerable? Will it give you the courage to pursue a passion that has always seemed out of reach? Will you make it through the eye of the storm when personal struggles inevitably hit? Perhaps, most importantly, will the truly hard moments in life feel ever so slightly more bearable now that you know with certainty that you can keep going? Bear in mind, endurance won't make those challenges vanish, but it may just give you the strength to carry the weight a little longer, a little further, until you find your way through. It is not a superpower per se, but sometimes it can feel remarkably close. And that's a wrap for this week's episode of the Balanced Flux podcast. A new episode drops every Sunday at 1 p.m. UTC on major podcast apps and platforms. You can also listen to the podcast and extend your support through the website at balancedflux.com. This podcast is intended for informational and educational purposes only. Kindly seek the appropriate care and treatment from licensed professionals. Do join the community on social channels and send your messages there or via email. Either way, if this podcast sparks some form of inspiration, I'd be more than glad to hear from you. Thank you for sharing your time and mind space. Your presence and engagement truly make this journey even more fulfilling and rewarding. I'm Tenny McLeod, signing off for now, and until the next time, stay safe, best wishes, and keep striving to achieve your balanced flux.